Is it harder or easier to become a singer today?
It's harder.
As you said,
It's
looks
harder.
are very important today.
Yeah, it's harder. It's much, much harder. They have to be able to dance, they have to look good, and they have to be able to attract basically a younger group first. And then maybe they can do some gimmick to be noticed.
Must they have the voice too?
Not necessary. Many of the young singers can't really sing, especially in Hong Kong. Many of them can't sing. If you ask them to sing live, they're all over the place. They don't know when to come in and they panic, you know. It happens. But if you're pretty and if you can act
And entertain.
then you can become successful. But in order to sustain that popularity, they must improve. Some of them succeed. Some of them learn as they go along and improve and become more mature and develop a good style, and then they can stay in the business. But there are many that will just one-hit wonder, disappear.
Reality shows and YouTube as well, and all the new media. How have all these changed singing career today?
I think it has helped because you no longer are dependent on a recording company. If you can record, everybody, even I can record at home with a computer now. If you can record your own material and if you've got a good song, you can put it onto the internet on YouTube or something, and it can get so many hits that it will become popular, and then you get noticed. In the old days when I started, you have to go to all the radio stations, go to the TV stations, you know. Now that's not entirely necessary.
That sounds like such a long time ago, right?
It is, it does. 41 years is a long time, you know. Yeah.
So today it's easier in a way.
It's easier. It is easier, but I would say for the recording company, the investment is more, but it's not necessarily guaranteed successful, because also there's so many file sharing and things that are pirated. Nowadays, the money is in the concert, not in the records. Not many people actually make money with records. That is why people stop using real musicians. They want to use a computer because that costs nothing. You know, once you've invested in the computer, that's it. Whereas with real people, you know, if you have a live orchestra, there's a lot of investment in that to get them to play the songs, and you know. So because of the piracy, it has basically reduced the payment given to the people to make music. So that is also part of the reason it's gone downhill. Yeah.
There's so many reality shows right now.
Yes.
Singers to become famous. Do you think it's a little bit too much these days?
Yes and no. I must admit I enjoy the reality shows like American Idol and particularly Do You Think You Can Dance and stuff like that. And also Britain's Got Talent and things like that. These are real people, and I think the panel of judges deliberately become nasty so that people can exploit their emotions and
make it dramatic.
Yeah, and you at home and thinking, oh, he's a nasty man, but you feel sorry for the contestant in a way. But then it is a good vehicle for people to be introduced to the general public. I mean, look at Susan Boyle, right? Never in a lifetime would you imagine she could become somebody so successful. True. But because of this one program that she can actually sing. That's a very good example of a good part of the reality show. Because in order to win, you have to be on every week over a period of time. I mean, even the best singer would not get that opportunity to be on every week. The exposure is very big.
But are we having too many singing contests right now?
Hard to say. Again, those who can grab the opportunity, if they are exposed to the general public and the general public like them, if they treasure that opportunity and make good use of them, they can become very successful. But then some of them may be a bit young and they cannot take that sort of success so quickly, then they might burn out. There's sort of a two-edged sword. You know, you have to be very careful how you handle it.
Who are your singing idols? Are there any?
Oh, I'm a biggest Barbra Streisand fan. I have always loved her material, loved the way she sang, enjoyed her movies. I think she's very, very talented. And I always think that she is, she can direct, she can write lyrics. She's an amazing woman.
What's the potential for Chinese music industry today?
Actually, Chinese music industry is very big because China has opened up. Yeah. So it's a huge market. But only the cream will come to the top. Because China is so big, they have their own talents. So in order for Hong Kong people to succeed, they have to be very good. And I think at the moment, they can reach a certain standard, but in order to get even bigger, they have to work very hard.
Is the government supportive at all?
Oh yes, very. We have a lot of awards, and the radio stations and the government develop a lot of talents. But they try very hard to stop piracy, but that is one of the hardest things to stop. Yeah.
That's a very big problem, right? Piracy.
It's a very big problem, not just for music, but for movies.
Movies as well. Basically the entertainment business.
Yes.
Piracy.
People don't understand that the investment into making something, a record for instance, you've got to pay the talent, you've got to pay the writer, and then you've got to develop it, and you've got to trial, record it and do all of that. It costs money. And they think, why a pirate gets so cheap and then the real thing is so expensive? Well, the real thing is expensive because we need the money to develop the talent.
What's your take on Asian songs on the world stage? Where are we right now?
I think Asian songs is still pretty much a niche market. The real market for, say for instance, for a song from Asia to actually break into the Western world, there has not been so many. The very first one is Rose, Rose, I Love You. That Rose, Rose, I love you, da 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 da. Now that was a Chinese song that broke in. Then years and years later, I think there's one Filipino song that's done it, Anak. Da 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 da. That's broken into. I've heard that played often in America. Other than that, I can't really think of too many Asian songs that has had an impact. I think because the Western world is still so big, they would tend to think, and also Asians don't really compete in I think there's only been one song from Crouching Tiger that was ever nominated in the Oscars. The others are not, sung by Chinese or anything like that. So it's still pretty small. It needs to go one step further.
Korean songs are pretty big these days.
Again, a niche market.
Even though we feel it's big in this part of the world.
Japanese is even bigger, but again, it's a niche market. Yeah. So I hope it will get even bigger because now, with the internet the way it is, hopefully it will get even bigger.
Kowloon, Hong Kong. We like Hong Kong. That's a place for you.